I was speaking about Schrödinger and what Heisenberg, isn't it? So when in the previous video we had studied about the developments that led to quantum mechanical model of atom, and then I told you that Heisenberg and Schrödinger, they discussed the concepts related to quantum mechanics, and where we have an equation called as Schrödinger wave equation. So for those systems whose energy does not change with time, Schrödinger gave an equation, Schrödinger wave equation. He gave Schrödinger's wave equation as h cap xi is equal to E xi, psi, xi we call it as. H xi is equal to E xi, where this h cap which we have is called as Hamiltonian. It is a mathematical operator called as Hamiltonian operator. Only the derived expression we are studying here, so you need not worry much about it. So he has also this, we are not going to study the derivation of it, just the derived expression. H cap is Hamiltonian operator, which is called as which is a mathematical operator. You will be studying about scalars, vectors, there you will be knowing about it. Then xi is called as wave function. So wave function, it gives information about the atomic orbitals, where the atoms can be present. That information you get from this particular one, xi, which is called as wave function. E is energy of the orbital. E is energy of the orbital. So Schrödinger gave an equation which is h xi is equal to E xi, where h xi is a mathematical operator which is called as Hamiltonian operator. Its value can be calculated, and when it is solved, you get the values of E and xi. We get the values of E and xi. What is E? Energy of the orbital. Xi is wave function. What do we get to know from wave function? We get to know about the details about the orbitals. That's all. If you understand, that's enough. Remember the equation, that is expression with its term explanation. Okay. Next we will see what is atomic orbital. At least you have basic idea of what is atomic orbital now. What is atomic orbital? The space in which atoms are present. Yes. For example, when we write electronic configuration, we write s orbital with 1 box, p orbital with 3 boxes. What are those boxes called as? Those boxes are called as, they are not called as boxes, I mean to say, those are called as atomic orbitals. Yes, so S is an orbital, P is an orbital. What are they? Those are the spaces where the atoms are present. So that clear picture of this atomic orbital or energies related to that, or related to shells, related to subshells, or how the electrons spin, with what energy or with what value it spins, or with what value it moves, all these were given by the important set of numbers which are called as quantum numbers. I have told you what is quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics is that branch which considers the dual nature of matter. Here quantum numbers means a set of numbers. We have different numbers called as principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, magnetic quantum number, spin quantum number. All these gives us information related to the atomic orbital. So what are they? We will be studying now. Quantum numbers. The 4 important quantum numbers are principal quantum number, quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, magnetic quantum number, in the examination, the most expected question can be from this part where they will ask you the significance of principal quantum number, or just they'll ask you to write a note on quantum numbers. So you need to understand this really well. And the other one is spin quantum number. These are 4 different quantum numbers. What do they give information about? Or I was telling a lot about quantum numbers. What do they tell? We will see what it tells about. Principal quantum number. I'll start with one. Principal quantum number I'll speak, and then we will move on to the other ones. Okay. Principal quantum number. I'm writing a note on it. So principal quantum number, it is denoted as n, small letter n. So when we write principal quantum number, in the bracket we write n. Its denotation is that. What does it tell? It tells about the main shell to which the electron belongs. It tells about what? The main shell. It gives information about the main shell to which the electron belongs to. It gives, or it tells about information about the shell to which the electron belongs to. You know how it is? See, now in general, we consider the nucleus and around it the orbits, isn't it? Now what does this value principal quantum number tell you? It tells us to which shell the electron belongs. So I was writing n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3, isn't it? In general, they consider this way. K shell, L shell, M shell, N shell, so on. They usually consider. That means n is equal to 1 means K shell, n is equal to 2 means L shell, n is equal to 3 means M shell, n is equal to 4 means N shell, like that. So what does that tell you? The value of n, principal quantum number n, gives information about the shell to which the main shell to which the electron belongs to. And the values of n can be 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Hope it is clear. Values of n can be 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. What does that tell you? N is equal to 1 means which shell it will be? Shell will be K, L, M, etc. It doesn't only tell about the main shell of the atom. Instead, it also tells about size and energy of the orbital. What does it tell? It tells about size and energy of the orbital. That is, it tells about the size as well as energy also. Energy of the orbital. So these are the main points that you will be mentioning under principal quantum number. Hope it's clear. No confusion there. It is denoted as n. It tells about the main shell to which the electron belongs to. If we say n is equal to 1, that means K shell. N is equal to 2, L shell. N is equal to 3, M shell, and so on. It also tells about size as well as energy of the orbital. Now let us move on to the next one, that is azimuthal quantum number. A very, very nice one. It's interesting if you understand, because in this we have many concepts under this. Azimuthal quantum number, I'll write it here. Azimuthal quantum number. It is also called as subsidiary quantum number. The other names are subsidiary quantum number, or it is also called as orbital angular quantum number. Okay, these are the different names of azimuthal quantum number. What is it? Azimuthal quantum number is also called as subsidiary quantum number or orbital quantum number, orbital angular quantum number. This tells about, and it is denoted as, L, small letter L. It is denoted as L. What does this give information about? Now we were telling that quantum numbers explain about the orbitals. What does it give information about? It explains, or it gives information, or it tells about the three-dimensional shape of the orbital. It tells about three-dimensional, 3D shape of the orbital. It gives information about the three-dimensional shape of the orbital. That is, by considering the coordinate axis XYZ, which we generally consider, using that, how the shape of the orbital looks like, that information is given by azimuthal quantum number. We will see how. So in azimuthal quantum number, three-dimensional shape of the orbital. You know how? See, for S orbital, we say that the shape of S orbital is spherical. The shape of P orbital is dumbbell, we say. The shape of D orbital, we say double dumbbell shaped. Double dumbbell shape. How do we get to know about this? It is by knowing the azimuthal quantum number. That is, how do you know that it is S, P or D orbital or F orbital? By knowing azimuthal quantum number. How by knowing azimuthal quantum number? We shall see now. That is, next point, for given values of n, L value will be, now we have to know, isn't it, what are the values of L? L values can range from 0 to n minus 1. What is it? For the given values of n, L value will vary from 0 to n minus 1. Let me give some examples. Examples are, see, if n is equal to 1, then what will be L value? L value is 0 to n minus 1. So 1 value is 0. What will be the other value? 1 minus 1, 0. So 0. If n is equal to 2, then L value will be 0 to n minus 1. 0 to n minus 1 means 2 minus 1. 1. So what will be L value? L value will be 0 and 1. Are you getting the point? If n is equal to 2, L value will be 0, 1. If n is equal to 3, L value will be 0, 1. Then 3 minus 1, 2. 0, 1, 2. If n is equal to 4, then L value will be 0, 1, 2, 3. That means 0 to n minus 1. n minus 1 means 4 minus 1, 3. So up to 3 we have to write the values. So this is about the values of L. Values of L always ranges from 0 to n minus 1. This we know. It also tells about the subshells. That is, by looking at the values of L, we can know the subshells of the electrons also. To which subshell it belongs to. What does n tell you? Principal quantum number tells you about the main shell to which the electron belongs. What does azimuthal quantum number say? It tells about the shape as well as the subshell it tells about. Okay, you can make a point here. It tells about 3D shape of the orbital as well as it explains about the subshell of atom. Subshell of atom or electron you can write. Subshell of electron. Now values of L, 0, 1, 2, 3. For values of L, we can get values of, which subshell it belongs to. So the subshell notation, always remember, it's very important, this part. In the competitive exams you get many questions from this. So if you understand it now, it will become easier for you. If L is equal to 0, subshell notation, L is equal to 0 means the orbital is S, or S subshell the electron belongs to. If the value of L is 1 for the given electron, now we are calculating the azimuthal quantum number, principal quantum number, and you get L is equal to 1. L is equal to 1 means which one? P orbital. L is equal to 2 means D. L is equal to 3 means F. So these are the subshell notation, S, P, D, F, isn't it? It's giving us information. If it is L value is 0, that means we know it is S or S subshell. So the shape is spherical, we say. If L is equal to 1, we know it is P orbital, therefore we know the shape is dumbbell. If L is equal to 2, we know it is D orbital, so the shape is double dumbbell shape. This is what we get to know. Hope it is clear for azimuthal quantum number. Next we shall see further. In this itself, subshell notations we will see. I will tell you and you will have to write down. I'll tell you the subshell notations, you will have to write it, okay? Write the subshell notation for, I'll write N value, L value. Along with me, try writing subshell notation for it. After 1 or 2, it becomes easy for you to write. When N value is 1, L value is 0. Then how do we write the subshell? N is equal to 1. So subshell is written as 1. L is equal to 0 means which orbital? S. So 1s. Do you remember writing electronic configuration? We write 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Yes. So here it tells about the subshell here. If n is equal to 2, L is equal to 0, then which subshell it becomes? Here n is equal to 2, L is equal to 0 corresponds to S subshell, 2s. N is equal to 2 and L is equal to 1. Then it corresponds to 2. We write the principal quantum number as it is. And then L value is 1. That means which one? L is equal to 0 is S. L is equal to 1 is P. So 2P. Now likewise, you try writing. I'll just go on mentioning N and L value. You will have to write subshell notation. When N is equal to 3, L is equal to 0, what? What is the subshell notation you have to write? N is equal to 3, L is equal to 1. What is subshell notation? N is equal to 3, L is equal to 2. What is the subshell notation? N is equal to 4, L is equal to 0. What is the subshell? N is equal to 4, L is equal to 1. Write the subshell. N is equal to 4, L is equal to 3. What is the subshell notation? You'll have to write. What you have to see? N, however, you are going to write same. L value, you check out. 0 means S. 1 means you have to write P. 2 means it corresponds to D subshell. 3 means it corresponds to F subshell, like that. It's very easy, okay? You need not worry about it. Just try writing it. It's very easy. Next, we will move on to next quantum number. This was about orbital quantum number. Please note that this will be your homework again. The space which I have given for you to fill the notations will be your homework. Along with that, I'll give other. Okay. Next, we will see about magnetic quantum number. You know, magnetic quantum number. Magnetic quantum number is denoted as M subscript L. It is denoted as M subscript L. It's called magnetic quantum number. What does magnetic quantum number tell us? It tells about magnetic orientation. It tells about magnetic orientation of the orbital with respect to, or say by considering, with respect to. If you find it difficult, you can write by considering coordinate axis. Axis is the plural form. Axis, IS is the singular form. Axis is the plural form. This one, X, Y, Z we write, isn't it? By considering this, magnetic quantum number tells about how the electrons are oriented in the given space. In the given space, how they are arranged or magnetically oriented is what given with respect to coordinate axis by magnetic quantum numbers. The value of ML will range from minus L to plus L. How do you write the values of ML? Minus L to plus L we will be writing. I'll give you some examples, okay? Total of how many values it will have, you know? 2L plus 1 values it will have. How we will see now? How we will see? If say L is equal to 0, then what will be ML value? ML value will be minus L to plus L. Can you write minus 0 to plus 0? No. So 0. If L is equal to 1, then what will be ML value? ML value will be minus 1 to plus 1. That means how do you write? Minus 1, 0, plus 1. You know this number line, isn't it? 0, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. Here minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. In this order you will be writing. When L is equal to 2, value of ml will be -2, -1, 0, +1, +2. That is minus L to plus L. This is how you will be writing the ml values. That's how we write ml values. And total of how many values we will have? We will have 2L plus 1 value. See, consider this one. 2 into 0 plus 1. That is 1 value we have. Total of 2L plus 1 value. 1 value. Total in the second one, how many values we can have? 2L plus 1. That means 2 into 1 plus 1. 2 plus 1, 3. See? 1, 2, 3 values. Here 2L plus 1 value means 2 2s are 4 plus 1, 5. So my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that. Total of 2L plus 1 values we can have for magnetic quantum number. Main thing is understand what it is explaining. It is explaining the orientation of electrons with respect to coordinate axis. Which is the next one we have? Next one we have is spin quantum number. What does spin quantum number tell about? Spin quantum number tells us how the spinning of electron takes place. That is, it tells about spin quantum number. It tells about the orientation of spin of the electron. You remember when we write electrons, we write it this way. One we write as upward arrow mark, one downward arrow mark. I'll tell you how to write this, okay? If you really do not know, if it is not taught, then I will be telling you. I'll teach you, don't worry about it. When we write electrons, if suppose 2 electrons are present in an orbital, we write one upwards, one downwards. That means one has positive spin. If one electron is spinning in one direction, the other electron in the same orbital will be spinning in opposite direction. That is what it means. One upwards, one downwards means opposite spins are present. So the values of S can be, the spin values, you know, for one it will be half, for one it will be plus half, for the other one it will be minus half. So values of Ms can be plus half or minus half. When do you have plus half? Plus half value for clockwise spin. Clockwise spin. If the spinning is in the clockwise direction, we denote it with positive spin value. If it is spinning in anti-clockwise direction, then we show it by a negative spin. Anti-clockwise means by a negative spin value we denote. So these are the significance of quantum numbers. You should know, if I give you values of n, you should know how to write the value of L, how to write value of ml, how to write value of ms also. Ms for the electron can be positive or negative. If 2 electrons are there, one will be positive half, other one will be negative half, like that. Okay.